So what are the unique aspects of trauma in children? So I'll be discussing sympathetic ophthalmia. About 6 million children annually sustain some form of ocular trauma, and pediatric ocular injuries account for nearly 50%. And the rates of surgical management vary from 7 to over 50% depending on the mechanism of injury. So what are the salient features are that there are about 1.4 million blind children in the world, two-thirds in developing countries, mostly monocular blindness, and ocular trauma is the second most important cause of blindness after amblyopia. So this definition we are all aware here in modern world maybe granulomatous be a little controversial because in modern sympathetic ophthalmia it can be non-granulomatous also. Otherwise the definition remains the same as it was earlier. Hippocrates noticed it almost 2000 years back. 17th and 18th century, people noticed that the disease placed the other eye in great danger, but it was William Mackenzie who coined the term sympathetic ophthalmia in the 19th century, and Ernest Fuchs gave the complete description. Obviously, a rare disease, an incidence of only 0.2 to 0.5% after penetrating trauma, and now, yes, ocular surgery 0.01%. And the incidence is rarer in pediatric, maybe 0.2%. No age, sex, or race predilection. Of course, higher incidence of males in sympathetic ophthalmia because probably the males are more exposed to trauma, and one survey has put almost two-thirds as male. Again, age distribution at young age and older age. Young age because children are more prone for trauma. Older age because more surgeries are done in older age group. So, what are the challenges? One is in children there is unreliable history. Then treatment-wise potential side effects of systemic steroids and immunosuppressive drugs. Children have a strong immune response. Diverse clinical presentations are possible in sympathetic ophthalmia. And of course, examination of children is always difficult, and literature as far as sympathetic ophthalmia in pediatrics is rare. So this is the mechanism. When you have penetrating trauma, the uveal antigens come out uh, through the conjunctiva or extra the lymph nodes. They ultimately there is a T1 helper cell response hypersensitivity mechanism leading to bilateral panuveitis. So a diagrammatic description how the immune response occurs. These are the possible antigens which are responsible: melanin, retinal S antigen, rhodopsin, interphotoreceptor, and recoverin. The inflammatory mediators are CD4 T cells, target tissues, uvea. Some HLA A11 has also been implicated in this. So, in the intact eye, the intraocular antigens bypass the local lymph nodes and circulate directly into the blood and spleen. But once the uveal tissue is exposed to the conjunctival lymphatics, then they move to the lymph nodes and the response occurs. So the features in both the eyes are similar except for the features of trauma in the exciting eye. Granulomatous panuveitis is the most common. All these lymphocytic infiltration, epithelioid cells, absence of necrosis, sparing of retina and choriocapillaries, uveal thickening extends throughout, ciliary and iris body masses are there, retina is detached. Dehlen-Fuchs nodules, we are all aware, are there between the Brooks membrane and the RP. And what is their pathological structure? Predominantly epithelioid cells. Onset of symptoms within 3 months 50%, within 6 months two-thirds, and within 1 year 90%. 11 years or maybe 5 to 17 years is the common presentation. Similar in both the eyes: blurry vision, pain, epiphoria, photophobia, and other clinical features as in panuveitis, posterior synechiae also, vitritis, papillitis, and mid-equatorial dental nodules exudative RD may be present. We are all aware accommodation is the earliest symptoms, retrolental cells and flare is the earliest sign. IOP may be high or low. So depending on the current and earlier, maybe post-surgical are now gaining in importance, and enucleation no longer is advocated as the first line of treatment. These are the various complications which can occur, and penetrating trauma, surgical repair which is delayed, the use of local and systemic steroids after 1 week, trauma to ciliary body, big trauma more than 5 mm are more likely to cause sympathetic ophthalmitis. So eventual blindness if you don't treat it. These are the various differential diagnosis, VKH, sarcoidosis, lymphomas, and others. Ultrasound is very important. Thickened choroid and vitreous opacity. Fluorescein angiography, multifocal areas of hyperfluorescence, leakage, pooling later on. ICG will give corresponding areas of hypofluorescent. OCT will also show retinal edema, choroidal folds, and even peripapillary edema. So there were very many studies done, and they found the rate of incidence of sympathetic ophthalmia to be 0.24%. Age group was same. Many patients didn't have active AC inflammation also. Most of the patients received steroids, systemic as well as intravenous, and visual acuity was achieved 6 by 20 by 200 in most of the patients. So the preferred line is steroids. Immunosuppressives can also be used. Prognosis earlier was untreatable, but now they are getting good results. And we are all aware it is type of disease, and immunosuppressives and steroids should be taken with long-term follow-up. Thank you, sir.